where is, what's his name? Where's Dom from? Is Dom from Survivor or Big Brother?
Dominic? The guy who was talking shit to, Cachet?
Yeah, he pissed me off, so fucking much.
I want to say he's Survivor. I think he's just old and annoying.
Yeah, I said earlier on Twitter, it's like weird old head energy. His whole, and he pissed me off just so fucking much this episode. He really did. He really, everything about him was just distasteful as fuck.
He just had no respect for, Cachet, his partner. His name's Cachet. Her name's Cachet, right?
Yes.
Like, she was trying and she was putting in the effort. And especially at the end when he was talking, what was he saying? I'm a project manager. I don't listen to my underlings kind of situation. I was like,
thank you for letting me know what kind of boss you are.
I was like, okay, ass. I wouldn't want to be your employee.
Exactly.
Jeez.
I wasn't feeling him at all. So.
Well, this is the first time he's gotten any screen time. Apparently that's how he gets it, by being a dick.
He hasn't done shit all game to be talking the way he does. I said that shit earlier. Like, what the fuck has he done that makes him feel like he can talk like this? He hasn't done a goddamn thing. But that's neither here nor there. You ready to kick the shit off?
Let's do it.
All right. What's really good, pot stirrers? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Giftmaster Bex. Now, we are on episode 3 of The Challenge USA, which is on CBS and Paramount Plus, airing currently on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Now, I liked the first 2 episodes. This one, there was some good stuff and there was some bad stuff towards this episode. I found this one to be a little bit more of a mixed bag. What did you think of episode number 3 for The Challenge USA?
I mean, I think we're just kind of getting used to the way this algorithm's going to work. And I think it's just... you know what? Maybe it's because I keep hearing the same repetitive stuff. And it's the same thing in The Challenge as when the people have an alliance. All I keep hearing is Survivor strong, but brother, Survivor. I was like, oh my God, I get it. You guys are an alliance and you're supposed to be Survivor strong. But yeah, that's not how this game works. And we can already see the fractures kind of coming in where people are starting to say it's time to start separating ourselves from our groups and possibly start infiltrating other areas because of the way the algorithm is working. And I guess maybe this is the point of the algorithm, so that they can't really stick with their specific shows and gives people more of an opportunity.
That was always going to happen one way or another. All of these kind of alliances break down at some point.
But so quickly? It's too early for this. It's episode 3.
You know, I realize The Challenge USA, I mean, of course, it's from the same people who produced The Challenge. I'm very excited so far with a lot of the dailies, and some of the eliminations are a little bit more mixed for me, but I see what they're doing, and I do like it for the most part.
I feel like I'm starting to like it maybe because I'm starting to get to like some of these characters. So I'm kind of interested more in their stories. I kind of want to get to know them a little bit more. So I'm starting to be a little bit more invested. So I guess I could say that I'm starting to like the show a little bit better and I'm giving it a bit more of a chance.
I'm not there yet, but there are 2 glaring mistakes for me that I see. One of them is the whole living situation. The whole, we're all staying in this one big room with all of these loft-style bunk beds or whatever. Bad mix, man, bad mix. So much more stuff could be done with separate rooms.
A lot more talk and a lot more
Exactly.
gameplay.
When you watch The Challenge, there's a mad dash to the house. New people try to get bunked with certain people. Veterans try to get bunked with other veterans. And it's very, very, we've seen it on All Stars, where the alliances broke down to who was in whose room. And this kind of takes away from that. In fact, the whole, Survivor Strong and Team Big Brother shit will probably break apart even sooner. There's that, and two, I hope I don't sound like an asshole for saying this, but probably not enough alcohol is going around. Not enough partying. Alcohol is a major social tool for chaos in the challenge house, and we're not seeing enough of it.
There isn't a lot of party going on right now.
No, there isn't. And not necessarily a lot of partying, but when it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in a highly stressful environment and alcohol is flowing freely, you get some of the more wild shit. And
so what you're saying is everybody's entirely too sober for you.
What I'm saying is certain social aspects of the game has been sanitized for CBS. I'll say it again. Certain social aspects of this game has been sanitized to be on CBS, and it's fucking noticeable.
Well, it's a family show.
It's not a family show.
It's not. Well,
it's not a family show.
It's a family channel. It's not on cable. So there goes the difference.
Screaming, I'm going to smash your head and eat it. This isn't no. Most of us who's been watching this for a while has been watching it for a long time. And apparently, if you watch it on Paramount, it's unedited. It's uncensored. With
the curse words and everything?
So I've heard.
I've actually watched it, but I haven't really paid much attention to the cursing.
Well, I watch it live on CBS. Does it come out on Paramount live at the same time?
It does come out Paramount. I watched it live yesterday on my Paramount app.
Was it uncensored?
I honestly don't pay attention to cursing.
Oh,
I'll have to take a look.
So much awesome. All right, let's go ahead and start this episode
Cursing
off.
is such a daily thing for me that it's just kind of a part of vocabulary. I don't pay attention to it because I could just consider it to be a regular form of communication.
These are big facts. So this episode, we start off at the algorithm, which all reality, it's so fucking stupid. We don't need to go through the whole process. Run that shit on the bottom like a fucking ticker tape, like it's ESPN, and let's get that shit over with. But let's go through the partners. It's going to be David, Shannon, Kyland and Angela, Derek and Shan, Ben and Kyra, Enzo and Desi, Dom and Cache, Danny and Aza, Xavier, Kayla, Tyson, Alyssa, Cinco, Sarah, Leo, Justine, Sarah, Tasha. All right, so at least with this round, you could probably say, okay, the algorithm is actually algorithming or whatever. First off, the name of that shit is the algorithm. It just sucks. The visual sucks. And how much space it takes in the first A block just takes up too much.
Well, I think that you're right. It could be really shortened versus instead of saying, let's watch the lights light up, it could just be like, this person and this person, this person and this person. They're already lined up and kind of make it much quicker, make it, 30 seconds versus 2 minutes.
What you said is perfect. Get a shot of 4 people, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the teams. Boom, these are the teams. Boom, these are the teams. Boom, these are the teams. Get the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, nice and quick and easy. I gotta say I have a favorite. I'm hoping she wins the whole thing.
Okay.
I love me some Sarah. I love her so much.
I don't know about Sarah. I don't fuck with the police like that. I just don't. I just don't.
She's more than just the police, though.
Nah, she's the police.
Damn. Okay, well,
I'm sorry. You gotta watch what you say around her. She might just say, actually, I was in the challenge house and this motherfucker said his cousin be doing this. You know? Can't trust him.
She's a snitch, huh?
You can't you know what? The fact of the matter is, and this isn't a dig at Sarah, but you can't trust the police because the police are legally allowed to lie. They are trained to lie to you to get information out of you.
True.
They're trained for this.
True.
And they are trained to do what they want if you're ambiguous about your answer. They're tricky. They have to be. They have to be.
They can interpret what you want, what they want from your comments.
And they are legally allowed to be. that is the lamest reason for not trusting the police.
I honestly didn't even pay attention mostly to her occupation other than the fact that she's a fucking badass on the show. I'm sorry. I'm not even focused about what she does outside of work.
Nah, because listen to her talk. She's like, oh, I'm going to be out here intimidating these other women. Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah, that's the same thing the fucking CT says. I'm going to intimidate everybody because look at me, I'm fucking CT.
He wasn't right then, too. Remember how fucked up he was when he was doing shit like that? It was a pretty fucked up situation. He was in a bad place, and he was a bad guy then.
Savvy.
Yeah, exactly. That isn't exactly the fucking hill to die on.
Listen.
Fucking CT. Oh, what about what CT said? You mean when he was an animal?
Well, you got to think of it, but, Wes says that he likes to intimidate people, but with his intellect. So
that's different.
But nonetheless, maybe she's trying to intimidate people with her intellect.
So, moving on, after the fucking bullshit that is the whole entire algorithm, we got Leo. He's celebrating with the other Love Islanders. And everything looks all good between them. In fact, during the whole entire A block, you really hear them talking about how solid they are, and they're the only ones that they can really trust. All the teams get up, they're starting to bond. For some reason, the CBS thinks it's a good idea to see Derek and Shan bond. Now, Shan was able to earn a little bit of screen time because she's kind of taking the commentary, Jemmy, the telephone, information role, which is cool.
She's got a Shantham.
Yeah, exactly. Derek has done absolutely nothing in this game. I really, see, something like that confuses me. Why are they getting some screen time right now? They're only talking about building a bond, and Shan is obviously telephoning back the same shit that he's saying, and he obviously can't trust her that much, knowing her whole position with talking too much and stuff. So this is another problem I have with the channel CBS. We get little shit like that isn't pushing the story forward and isn't going to mean anything within 15 fucking minutes. Now, what we do have that is slightly more interesting is Shan and Tasha and all of them, they're realizing that they're going to have to start doing some reaching across the aisle and do some cross-show work with everybody else.
Well, even The Amazing Racer, was it Jason who was like, I need to get in with the Survivor people because they're the ones that most likely that are going to have some power and long-term
that was
staying.
James. And James has been playing this game pretty well, despite poor performance up until this point. His performance hasn't been the greatest, but his strategizing has been awesome. James have seen this show before, and he's obviously a fan, so he's playing it at slightly a higher level, but poor performance, can really mess you up. In reality, I think this whole Survivor Strong, Team Big Brother, I will be surprised if this lasts 5 more episodes.
Well, I mean, the way everything is kind of going with the way the teams are set up, I just don't think it's going to work out. They're going to start building too many bonds. They just can't trust each other. And it's already starting to show. People are already cracking.
It's not feasible.
It's Tyson and Angela, right? So Big Brother on one side, and then Survivor on the other side that are making this big, together to the end promise type of situation. And honestly, Angela's getting on my nerves because she thinks she's hot shit.
You know what's funny? Back when the challenge first came out, like back in the late 90s, early 2000s and stuff, it was very much Real World sticking together and Road Rules sticking together. And that did not last very long. So, in reality, I'm telling you, by the midpoint of this season, that will already be broken up, and we will not even hear of any of that shit by season 2. Because a lot of these people are going to start making their own personal relationships, and that's going to start to play out. Now, before we head to the daily, there's one thing. Dom is out here. He's teamed with Cachet. He thinks Cachet head isn't 100% in the game, and that she's going to be a drag. He doesn't talk about her greatly. He thinks that she's too distracted. Because the funny thing is, my opinion, is she distracted? Yes. But also, her and Cinco is the only type of relationship drama that we have right now.
I mean, it's not even really drama, though.
It's
just
not.
her talking about how he, like, the thing is I was like, why the are you talking about how he's a book to you? Like, your favorite? What the fuck? Like, really?
Look, I
like,
get
that's
it.
kind of corny.
No, it's okay. They were in love. She feels some kind of way. I get that. That's okay. But it's not okay when it's the only source of drama. And that is the fault of CBS. That's their fault because there's no alcohol. There's no separate rooms. They didn't do well enough casting for enough people to have pre-existing relationships. Sure, we had the whole Cashel thing. He gone.
Yeah,
Now
which is
what?
sad. I mean, they honestly had more polarizing people, I'm sure, that they could have pulled onto these shows that would have more beef. I know that they wanted to probably get as much of the cookout on there as possible because they are so well known. They're kind of the shit right now and the main focus when it comes to Big Brother. So I can understand them being like, we need to get as many of those people on here as possible. But I'm sure that there's better, more polarizing people than Alyssa and what's his face? Derek? Is it Derek?
Derek, yeah, absolutely. Before we head out, one more thing too. So right before the daily begins, we got Tyson and Angela. They're talking shop.
I was
Other
going to
people
ask
are
about
noticing. Jury is still out on Tyson and Angela. I don't know if they're the people that I should be rooting for, but they have obviously set themselves to be the top dog. Angela gotta win. Tyson has to. Everybody's kind of shook at them. Everybody has taken notice. I'm surprised that they're not gearing up to get ready to take a shot at these two. But they come up with the strategy. Actually, Tyson comes up with the strategy and fucking inceptions it into fucking Angela. Just like, we need to start targeting weaker players because it will help ourselves. And so we don't have to get partnered with them. And so that way, when we get to the final, it'll only be the best of the best. Now, judging from past challenge seasons, we've kind of seen the opposite. We've seen, hey, get some of these strong players out so they don't become a problem later on, and keep at least one or two weak teams around so they could be a buffer when you get into the championship, or you got a weak team in the championship, so it's just you and your buddy against an obvious third place. How do you feel about how they're setting this up in contrast to how the challenge has been run on the flagship series for the past couple of seasons?
I mean, that's Tyson and Angela's, well, more Tyson than Angela, whole directionality. There might be other people out there that like we're going to need, and I think it's going to be the players that are considered weaker, and I'm putting quotes out here for weaker players, that are going to start saying we need to get these physical competitors out of here because otherwise us more mental competitors aren't going to be able to win in the long run. So I think it kind of depends on how these challenges go, whether or not that's how this whole strategy is going to play out. Because at the end of the day, people want to be able to win. And I know that at the end of the day, everybody wants to, I want to play fair. And they want to talk about how they're the moral high ground because they want to win against the best. No, you want to win. Period. You don't give a fuck who I win against. I could win against Joe Schmo, who hasn't run a mile in 10 years and smokes 100 cigarettes a day. Or I could win against the guy who runs 20 miles a day and, is the specimen and brain trust. I don't care who I win against. It's going to be easier against Joe Schmo, though. Give me Joe Schmo any day.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move on to the daily. Today's daily is going to be called Hang On Man. And this one looks super interesting. Basically, all of the challengers got to race 2 stairs. They got to race and grab stair pieces, build the stairs, climb up the stairs, grab some letters. One person has to walk the plank and balance there while one person keeps running and try to solve a puzzle at the end of this, runway or whatever.
It's a Wheel of Fortune without the wheel.
Yes. I like this. I like this for a lot of reasons. One, it tests it tests a lot of stuff. It tests balance, it tests endurance, it tests intelligence, and it tests teamwork. So this as a daily is just a win. I do like this daily, and I understand that this is CBS.
Cute.
But we're gonna have to see some I wish there was a little bit more contact. They really haven't done any. Nobody hit each other yet.
Yeah, there's been no real physical matchups yet.
Hopefully, we'll get some soon. But also, this might be the sanitization for CBS. So,
well, they also got to think that right now they are working more with a general kind of consensus of how to make this even playing field for everybody. Because obviously, if you have a much more physical matchup, the more mental players are going to suffer. So I think they're just trying to equalize it out for everybody. There's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you try to say that, but what's the rating for this thing? It's not TVMA, is it?
I have no idea.
I gotta check because it almost seems like when the WWE was in their PG era, where everything was like family fun. And that kind of feels like what's going on now a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. Kyland and Angela gets the win for this daily. But let's go ahead and talk about some of our favorite parts. But also, James and Tasha.
TVMA.
Is it TVMA?
That's what it says.
As you know what? Probably on Paramount, where they play the curses and stuff. I got to see what it comes off of CBS. I got it saved on my TiVo. But James
each episode's
and Tasha,
different.
Really?
Yeah, because the original one, season 1, episode 1 was PG. Then if you look at number 2, it's MA. And then you look at number 3, it's PG again.
What the hell happened last episode that made it MA?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This last episode is actually MA as well. Lives. Okay. So the first one was PG, and the last 2 were MAs.
Interesting. Very fucking interesting. Well, Kyland and Angela gets the win. The loss is taken by Leo and Tasha. Let's talk about some of the top moments from this daily. I already said that I really like this daily because it tested a lot of stuff. Some of the great moments is, I want to say his name is David. David is always mentioning his wife, which is always cool. Once again, Tyson and Angela looked great. They was doing a lot, and Alyssa held her own as well. What were some moments that really stuck out to you during this daily?
Well, it was 2 different people. There were the people who were like, we need to bust this out super quick. And then the people who are like, slow and steady win the race. I think there were like 2 or 3 people who was like, listen, this is slow and steady. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon kind of situation. I really found the whole Cachet and Dominic thing funny, where he's like, why is she running so fast? She needs to slow down and pace herself. And she's like, I gotta pee.
That was absolutely funny. I liked being able to see Ben. We didn't see a lot of Ben so far, but we got to see some of his personality and to see how he competes today. And I thought he did pretty well too. So I thought that was really cool.
This wasn't very Tyson focused. And I know that's because Tyson was winning the last few episodes. I kind of enjoyed having more of like you said, a more spaced out kind of getting to know people. I know that we talked a lot. There was a lot of Kyland in this one. And I think a lot of people just got to be showcased since it wasn't so heavily favored for one person.
Yes. So Angela did really well in this, but so did Kyland. And I want to say that this is an instance of, this wasn't Angela, being so great. She carried Kyland. They both did the running. They both put the stairs together. They both figured it out. Angela did her job, which was standing on the plank. But Kyland is the one who had to do the running. I think it was a very good showing for him, especially after the fiasco that was episode 1. So I thought he really came out and showed that he was able, to compete and do well. And I thought he looked good while doing it too.
I mean, technically, all she did was stand there with a pole. He had to figure out the puzzle too.
Which is hard. She looked great while doing it. It looked like she could stay up there all fucking day.
She
didn't look like she was struggling. She had her part, and she did her part, and she did it well, and it allowed Kyland to focus on. I just don't want the narrative of being like, oh, Angela's so strong, she could carry anything. But Kyland really showed his ass in this one. Angela did really, really great too. And even though they didn't win with a huge lead, they did do pretty great, and that's why they got the W. Anything that one of the things I dislike is, you seen Tasha, she was doing the whole, oh, I'm pacing myself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. She didn't perform very well. James, once again, didn't perform very well. This is his second time coming in the absolute bottom. Again, he plays the game really well in a social, mental way, but physically, he's not getting the job done. But I feel really, really bad for him because this one, even though he has some blame on this too, this one was really on Tasha. But it was also his fault because he put the sandbag on there. And I don't know, it kind of like jerked her down. Maybe it just wasn't done right.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they did their best that they could do, but I don't expect a whole lot out of him. I expect more from her because she's more athletic. She's actually done pretty well in the last few dailies. He, like you said, is kind of dragging her down. So I feel kind of bad for her.
I was kind of surprised, but I guess this loss is really on her. So once again, Angela and Kyland gets the lead. Oh, speaking of Kyland, I was in the challenge Facebook group and I saw somebody put up a joke.
I saw that.
Yes, they're like Nelson and Corey thinks they're slick, becoming one person. I almost fucking died. Now, this was in the Challenge Fans Facebook group by somebody named Sarah. It was probably the funniest shit that I seen. So I went and reposted it, and I put a picture of Corey and Nelson up, and a picture of Dragon Ball Z of Vegeta and Goku doing the fusion dance right into Kyland. That was one of the funniest. That joke was a win. So big shout out to Sarah. Big shout out to the Challenge Fans Facebook
We
group.
didn't even see it. And like when I saw you post it, I was like, oh my God, he does. He
Yeah.
does.
And Kyland ended up actually reposting it.
Did he?
And then he tagged Derek and Scott and said, hey, you're not the only one who's seen it.
I love it.
Was Kyland recently on Challenge Mania?
I honestly haven't listened to Challenge Mania in a really long time.
But you know what?
I'm a terrible Challenge Mania listener.
Well, it's because we have our own podcast. And so it becomes slightly more difficult to make room for other ones. But, I always poke my head in. I just haven't caught any episodes lately. But I'm going to go check it out to see if they actually talked about it. But I thought that was really, really cool. Next time I see Scott and Derek, I'm going to bring that shit up. But after the daily, we get back to the house. What's the first thing that happens? The big dogs of the house, Angela and Tyson, immediately start plotting. And once again, this is Tyson and Angela's head. And they start going over, they start game planning on who they want to throw in. And on top, they're targeting Dom and Cash and Shannon, and I think David was a partner. So we get to the point where the winners and the losers meet. And James is talking about he wants Justine and Leo. And when they sit down and talk, he floats the names Justine and Leo. Now, he's saying that Justine has all of this money, and if we're going to go in, the justification is that Justine has all of this money. If he's going to go in, he's going to try and make a cash grab. Okay, cool. Why don't you call out Tyson then? Call out Tyson. He got some cash for him.
He tried to go after Tyson. He didn't want that smoke.
The response to it is that Leo gets really, really hurt. And what's the name of the other amazing racer? Is it Kayla?
Kayla, yeah.
Kayla. Both Kayla, Kayla's just like, what the fuck?
Weren't they just partners?
Yes. And Leo's feelings his feelings is hurt because he was just like, yo, I thought we were supposed to be sticking together. And now James has not made it in with Team Survivor or Team Big Brother yet. He's not in like that.
At this point, he wouldn't be any benefit to them.
Well, it made no sense to throw them under the bus and to betray the people that he's working with. They're the only people that he's working with. They're the only people who's looking out for him. And the second his back's to the wall, he fucking asks to talk to them. It don't make no... And here's what the funny thing is. James has been playing when it comes to the social aspect and when it comes to a mastermind and shit, he has been doing an excellent job hitting way above his weight class with keeping his ass safe. And this was just a huge misstep. And in reality, I kind of lost some trust in him too, because if these are supposed to be your people that you're supposed to be working with, you know, they're the last names you're supposed to say. If anything, you try to keep them safe. It's
very true. When you look at it and you watch it, and it is sad to consider that he was the first one to kind of float names from his particular season. I get why he did it, and at the end of the day, I don't necessarily blame him because, yeah, if you're gonna go, number one, they're size-wise they're similar, so he has a likely chance of being able to win against him. And
but you know, Leo's problem with that is, okay, so what does that say about me? It means you think you could take me out, and you're willing to sacrifice me, somebody who's looking out for you, just so you could stay longer. It sent just a totally wrong message.
And I agree. I don't think it's the right message. I think he made a dumb move, and it was definitely not the right way to go about it. But again, to a degree, I understand where he's thinking and where his mindset is, because he's got to think also in the long term. Does he want to go after a Tyson who's so much bigger and stronger, or any of these other guys? I don't even think that there's any guys out there that he can really like that match him weight and size wise.
But check this out. This isn't a physical competition.
But you never know what the elimination's going to be.
You don't. But check this out. That's how you take out a lot of these big dogs. Janky eliminations. Remember when Bananas beat CT? 3 puzzles on the podium, baby. It can go either way.
And considering how good CT is at a puzzle, that's really kind of funny.
But check this out. That's how you do it. That's how you get rid of janky eliminations. What the fuck is this? Nobody's ever done this. Hey, you're going to swing from podium to podium. You don't know how to do that shit. So this is how you take out those big dogs. Put them in something janky. And if anybody's smart, if you won that day and you see something janky, put Tyson in that motherfucker.
I was going to say, Tyson seems to be one of those people. He's kind of giving me semi-Jordan-esque vibes.
He does, even though I do find him a lot less annoying. Check this out. I'll say this about Tyson. He is, so far, he's proved to be the big dog in the house. But he also got that position the right way. He didn't do it by bullying anybody. He tries to intimidate people, but not in a aggressive way. Well, he got there by winning.
How funny was it? I actually forgot about this. At the very beginning, before the thing happened, he's like, yeah, someone was out there bragging that they, rode 12 miles. That's not even a warm up. And she's like, that was
that was me. Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. That was hilarious. And that's a good moment.
But he literally looked at her and said, hey, that's not even, he didn't try and placate her or change it up. He's like, hey, that wasn't even a warm up. I'm going to need you to pick up the pace.
Fact. Hopefully the challenge will continue to have, good moments like that. Like, that was absolutely fucking hilarious. But like I said, he hasn't really schemed, not in a nefarious way. He hasn't bullied anybody. He hasn't treated females wrong. He got there by winning and everybody recognizing he's a big dog.
He's not being an elitist about it. Like, look at how amazing I am. I'm great at everything. No.
Maybe not so publicly, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see that at some point.
You start seeing it slip in little by little, especially when he talks to Angela.
But yeah, exactly. So, like I said, jury is still out, but he's where he's at and he deserves to be.
I think he's doing a lot of good work, but yeah, no, he's going to be a hard one to get out. I don't know how people are going to be able to get him out, even in an elimination, even a janky one.
Well, or maybe something super physical, because maybe you get something like a hall brawl or a pole wrestle, and you say, Cinco, today's your fucking day. We need you to go out there and handle business. But then
I need
again,
you to
how would
put
you
your
get somebody
football
like Cinco
player.
out?
Wasn't he a football player?
Sure as fuck looks like one.
I was going to
That's
say, I
fucking
feel
huge.
like he did some sort of, hey people, lovely viewers, was Cinco a football player at one point?
I think he was a football player, at least college. I think he got drafted too, so I think he did maybe a couple years in the NFL.
I thought one of the people in there said something about how he did do a few years in the NFL, but I didn't know if it was him or somebody else.
Cinco. Nobody else even fits that model. So moving on to the arena, James and Tasha comes down. They're going in. Kyland, totally forgot. Totally skipped the important part. Dom is going around telling everybody he wants in.
Moron.
Oh, I'm ready. Tells everybody, I'm ready. He chastises Cachet like, oh, I don't listen to my employees. I'm a boss. And her head's too in the game. She's all about the drama, yada, yada, yada. Here goes my problem. Him saying, oh, he's ready to go in, he's signaling to the house that he wants to go into elimination. Not that he's ready to go into elimination. He's signaling that he wants to go into elimination. He's signaling that he wants to go home. Because, he said it a couple of times, he's older. You know what older people are? They're tired. He's in a house full of 20-something-year-olds. He's the old guy. Nobody wants to talk to him. He's old.
He's sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly. He wants to go fucking home. And I think it's a real cowardly way to do it. If you want to go home, go the fuck home. Don't just sit there.
Do you think it was legitimate, like he wanted to go home, or was it legit?
Absolutely.
I just want to earn my... Because he did say something about earning his stripes. He wanted to show why that he
earning
was
his
there.
That is bullshit. And it's not crazy that Cachet doesn't want to go into fucking elimination. Who the fuck wants to go to elimination? Especially this early, you can never tell the outcome. I mean, unless it's fucking Landon or something going in, you never know who's going to win these fucking things.
After he talked so much shit about her not having her head in the game, he'd want to put his head down and lay low.
Exactly. I don't think he wants to lay low. I think he wants fucking out. But anyway, it come down and we get the flashback to him telling everybody he's ready. Guess what? If you're ready, be ready and shut the fuck up. Him saying he's ready. Angela and Kyland, to get the least amount of blood on our hands, we'll put in the person who kept saying they're ready. So
Makes sense.
It's going to be Dominic and Cachet versus James and Tasha. Now, the name of this game is Plug and Play. Basically, you guys, they both start at the top of a container full of water. TJ's going to pull a plug. Water's going to start coming out. One person's going to be in the tank, letting these concrete blocks float up. The partner on the top has to throw the concrete blocks down and stack them up. Now, Cachet says she wants to do the swimming, and fucking Dominic quickly shuts that down. But it kind of makes sense, because she can't swim.
True.
I'm sure her ability to not swim is not going to come in play at all during this season. So, okay, but here goes the thing is, we're not really swimming, are we?
Yeah, but the thing is with people who don't swim, normally they have some sort of anxiety towards water. So to imagine that you have to dunk yourself physically, and she's shorter. So you got to imagine, to get to the top where she would have air and then dunk down, that's a lot. And does she know how to even tread water? So that's kind of one of those situations.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him the benefit of the doubt. If you feel confident going in doing this, then okay. All right, cool. So they jump in. Now, you can plug the hole.
Correct.
And this is the part that infuriated. First off, this elimination was a good one. It was a good elimination. It was great looking. It was fast paced. You can see everything. There was a lot of great things about this elimination. This is probably the best elimination outside of Not So Fast in season 1. So it all comes down. They're doing great. James is trying everything to block it. He even tried to block it with his ass, which apparently was a bad idea. They get the blocks up. Cachet's stack tumbles. But eventually, Dominic and Cachet gets the win. They're the first team to get thrown in to come back. And so much about this pisses me off. One, Kyland was just like, yeah, I don't really care they're coming back. I'm not scared. They're weaker players. He's starting to sound like fucking Angela and Tyson now. And all because you sound like them and you talk like them doesn't mean that that's you. Because they're fucking toss your ass in, faster than your fucking head could spin. Dominic's whole entire treatment of Cachet this episode was fucking bullshit. Just weird old head shit.
He at least gave appreciation at the end. And I think that TJ helped with that. He's like, why would you not plug the hole? You're lucky that your partner helped you.
No, and that's the main thing that pisses me off. He already hopped on Twitter earlier and just said, like, yeah, me and Cachet really bumped heads in the beginning, but we ended up working it all out. She was a great partner, said a lot of great shit. Here goes the bullshit. Here goes the shit that pissed me off the most this episode. He was trying to throw that elimination.
You think for sure he was trying
to throw it. Cachet won. Barely. If this was the line, the water was in the line. It didn't pass the line just yet.
It was getting close.
He stood there. He let that water fucking drain. He was trying to let it drain. Come on. He looked at the opposition. He seen that they was plugging that hole. He seen his water was going out fast. Now, sure, you save a couple of minutes by not worrying about plugging it and getting all the concrete blocks up, right? After that, why would you not save as much water as possible? Check this out. He's seeing the opposition. I know he can hear people in the crowd. I know he's looking at TJ like, what the fuck? He tried to throw this elimination. And Cachet, not even realizing it, worked her ass off and got the win.
Well, she did deserve the win. Everybody gave her the props.
Absolutely. She killed it. But I thought it was such bullshit. And then TJ was just like, what the hell, man? Like, you didn't try to plug your hole? He's like, yeah, just a bonehead move. Rather go ahead, we gotta do the bonehead move. You gotta get... Bullshit, man. Bullshit. If you want to go home, just fucking say that. Take your ball and go home. There's alternates. We'll find somebody else. But don't sit here and try to sabotage somebody just because you're up there and you're fucking lonely and you miss your wife and your kids or being disrespectful to your employees or whatever it is the fuck that you do over there. That was some bullshit. And it infuriated me because Cachet is the only real source of house drama right now. I mean, you got Tyson and Angela, but they're just scheming on getting people out. There's no real drama there. There's no other source of romantic drama anywhere else. A key component of this show.
Are you fighting or are you fucking?
Exactly. Well, besides the bullshit over there, what did you think of the third episode of The Challenge USA?
I was impressed by Cachet. She killed it.
Very impressed. You know what? Here goes the funny thing is, Cachet is the star of the fucking show. Not the biggest beast in the house, like Tyson and Angela, but so far, she's really the star of the show.
She's really carrying the show on her back.
Really is.
Because everybody else is really freaking boring.
But I thought the daily was great. I thought the elimination was great. But we do have a severe lack of house drama. Just not even relationship stuff, just people stirring up the nest. Shan really needs to start working in overdrive or something else. People need to start doing stuff that's going to generate some interest in this. Because as much as it is a competition and all that other stuff, this is still reality TV. We watch it for some of the trashiness.
We want to see the drama. We want to see the people fighting. We want to feel it. We want to feel like we're in there and we can be enraged with them. Which is one of the nice things about this episode, because you really felt enraged for Cachet. And I wasn't a big Cachet fan, and I'm still not a huge Cachet fan, but I would have punched Dominic for her.
Absolutely. And, you said it right, too. Like, for all the house drama and stuff, she really is kind of carrying the show. And that's going to be a lot of weight, because what happens when she gets bounced out?
Because eventually she will. I can say she's not the best.
Eventually she will.
She's not going to make it to the end.
This whole thing. No. No.
She's one of the layup people that people are going to use to get out.
I wouldn't say layup. I think she'll make it. All right. Boom. Let's make a bet right now. I say she would make it at least halfway through the season.
That's actually what I was going to say. I can see her getting her through halfway.
Yeah. I'm thinking halfway, maybe a couple episodes after, maybe around 65% of the way, 70.
Well, I meant not necessarily like as a layup to the end. I meant like a layup, like when you're like that last person, you haven't had a chance to get your $5,000 yet, and you just want to take their money to try and do stuff. Like that's what I imagine like cachet is in my mind. Such as like easy money.
Exactly. She's got to make some. She's got to make a couple more friends. But on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, what do you put this episode?
I would give this a solid 4. It was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the. It was fun. I enjoyed the whole aspect of like the Wheel of Fortune-ish and watching that, and I liked it. I gotta say, I wish there was more drama. You're right. I wish, because I feel like it's very bland. It's very like, here's the challenge, here's the elimination, and a sprinkle of drama or a sprinkle of politics. But and honestly, I get it. Like, this is a competition show, but I'm not learning anything more about a good portion of these people. Like, I want to know these characters. If you want me to invest myself in this show, you have to give me more.
I'm going to give them a 3.5. I'm starting to really notice the sanitization, and the lack of drama, the lack of alcohol, and there's not a lot of avenues for something to go insanely wrong. And stuff going insanely wrong has really built the challenge.
Yeah.
From everything from sex stuff to racism to just flat out fighting. And I feel like none of that has the possibility of happening. And that takes away from some of the excitement for me. For now.
I think they took, because there are those polarized, it's a lot of people always it's always Big Brother people, where they have those little microaggressions. Big Brother, racist people. They always
I'm pretty sure they just say, okay, wait, no, we need at least 26% racist in here. I'm going to have to just throw a little bit in here.
And I don't think they're going to bring any of those people on the challenge. Again, because...
What makes you think they're not already there?
Well, at least not the verbal ones, as far as I know.
Most of them aren't.
Like, I'm sure... Well, I meant, like, on Big Brother, you caught 99% of them because of the cameras, of the 24-hour, like, live feeds. And that one comment that kind of comes through where, all the Big Brother people are like, oh, did you hear what they just said?
I never watch any of those things.
I just watched the live feed like for like a season where people were commenting on what is going on with the live feeds. That was dramatic.
I caught the last like 30 seconds of this Big Brother season, and I saw some of Jasmine, and she already like rubbed me the wrong way, like almost fucking instantly. As soon as I seen her, just hearing her talk.
Was she the HOA chick?
The what?
The last bit of the Big Brother? Like the Big Brother episode, the ones that's playing right now?
Yeah.
Because I know I don't know which one it is that you're talking about. Because I watched a little bit of it. I think I watched the last 20 minutes of it so that I wouldn't miss the show.
Jesus, I couldn't do 20 minutes of that shit. I tried the Big Brother. It's not for me. I might go back and check out like some of the old survivors. But you know what? That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. You can cop all your official Love War Challenges gear at shop.lwcpodcast.com, and our website is lwcpodcast.com. You can cop all of your customizable challenge gear and Challenge USA cast t-shirts, jerseys, and accessories at shopthechallenge.com. And make sure you listen to Love War Challenges Podcast on Apple, and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. She is Becky at Giftmaster Bex. This is Love War Challenges. Good night.
Bye.